Look at her, she's spitting early. Look at her, she's spitting early. Can't you see she's spitting early? Look at her, she's spitting early.
Good morning, everyone. If you guys watch my videos regularly, you'll know that I don't usually eat a ton of sugar. When I started my health and fitness journey, I was watching a lot of Naomi Smart's videos, and she's really the one that inspired me to start looking at my body in a different way and treating it in a way that would keep me healthy and would preserve my health as long as possible. I started changing up my style of training, ended up getting into resistance training, started trying to eat more protein, and the way I went about this initially was to eat more foods like the flapjacked pancakes and muffins, which are still really amazing, if I may say so myself, but they are not the most healthy thing in the world. I was much more conscious about my food and the macronutrients that I was putting into my body, and then as I kind of got to a point where I was solid on that, I realized that the macronutrients were not composed of foods that were very micronutrient rich, and so I started evolving from there, adding more foods that were more nutrient dense and slowly kind of phasing out the foods that weren't quite as healthy. So I started slowly phasing out processed foods and refined foods, and this kind of naturally ended up phasing out a lot of sugar from my life. Somewhere along the way, I did the BuzzFeed 2015 Clean Eating Challenge, and that kind of revolutionized the way that I looked at food and my relationship with food. It was 2 weeks of all whole unprocessed foods, very minimal sugar. I think there was 0 actual added sugar, although the sugar was from like fruit and stuff. And that really showed me how much I could actually enjoy eating that way and how good I felt when I was eating in that style. When I was growing up, and I think pretty much until the point that I moved out of my house to go to college, my mom always had this giant bag, and I mean like multiple pound bag of Hershey's semi-sweet chocolate chips in the pantry. Every day I would take handfuls of chocolate chips from that bag. I am a huge chocoholic. I love chocolate to death. Combine that with all of the sugar in that chocolate that I was eating, and that was just addicting as heck. So I didn't like start from a place where I already wasn't eating a lot of sugar and then became someone who didn't eat a lot of sugar. No, I was consuming so much sugar. And not only was I consuming a lot of sugar, I wasn't particularly mindful of it. I don't think I realized how much I was consuming. So this process of mindlessly consuming sugar to getting to a point where I now probably have an average of like 1 teaspoon of maple syrup in my coffee or adaptogenic latte a day took probably about 3 years to make that complete transition. And that's one of the reasons that I'm such a strong advocate of starting out your health and fitness journey by making small baby steps and not diving into everything at once. Because if you had taken high school Marissa, who was just eating bags of Hershey's chocolate chips a day, and we're like, you're gonna eat like the Marissa of 2018, I would have been like, and no. And I would have quit after like probably 4 hours without chocolate. So I say all this, but these last like 2 weeks, I've been eating a lot more sugar than I usually do, and there's a reason for that. It's not a good reason, it's a huge excuse, but there's a reason that I started eating more sugar. Do you guys know that I work in film? And because of the nature of the business, I end up working in a lot of different offices, and these last 2 weeks we were at our post-production house, and they like to keep snacks around. And not only do they like to keep snacks around, but they like to keep the candy at eye level in clear jars. And I was working in the room with the snacks. So I was just sitting there, minding my own business, doing my own work, and I was just having peanut M&Ms and jelly beans staring at me all day. I have enough willpower to not like go actively buy those things, but when you're bored and you're trying to do work and you're kind of hungry and everything else has gluten in it and there's just candy right there, you start eating the candy. People are like, Marissa, how are you so together? Like, I could never eat like you. No. No, I still break down and eat the candy too. So I ended up eating a non-insignificant amount of candy and kind of got re-addicted to sugar and started wanting to eat like sugary things elsewhere. Ended up buying a few more pastries than I should have. And it's time for that to stop. So today I'm going to take you through some of my top tips, top healthy eating habits to help get rid of the sugar addiction and stick to the healthy way that you want to eat. So I'm starting out my day with some lemon water, and this is just the juice from half a lemon. I'm just putting it in my water bottle that I will be drinking throughout the day. So I'm starting the day with this, but it's gonna be continually with me. For me, it is immensely helpful to have something flavorful to sip on. If I start to crave something, but I have this here with me, it's a lot easier to reach for this and just start sipping on my lemon water. And that way I have something a little bit flavorful and I end up forgetting about whatever it is that I want. Do I do this every single morning? No. I don't have my life nearly together enough to be able to do this, but when I can, it's a good thing to do. It is amazing though how much your taste buds start to change when you start consuming less sugar. Like 3 years ago, this would have tasted absolutely horrible to me, but now I put half of the juice of a lemon in here, filled it up with water, and it tastes like lemonade. Like, it tastes kind of sweet to me, and it's literally just lemon juice. I am on my way to go get some breakfast from the one and only Source Cafe, of course, because where else would I go when I want food? I usually make my own breakfast on the weekends, but I don't have any good breakfasty things in my house except for a paleo pancake mix, which is sweet and very carb heavy. And if I am trying to reduce my sugar cravings, I'm not about to start off my day with something that's sweet and carb heavy. So that is my second tip. If you're trying to not eat as much sugar / reduce your sugar cravings, don't start your day with a meal that's super carb heavy. Start with something that's very high in healthy fats and protein. When you have food or a meal that's high in carbs, your blood sugar goes through a huge spike and then a huge crash, as opposed to fat and protein where it kind of releases slowly and then tapers off slowly. So if you start out with carbs, your blood sugar is gonna spike, and then as soon as it starts crashing, your body's gonna freak out and it's gonna be like, we need to sustain the energy, we need something. And the quickest source of energy is carbs, particularly refined or processed carbs or sugar. And so that's gonna be what you start craving because your body's gonna want that quick hit of energy. So if you're having a big problem with sugar cravings, I highly recommend not starting out your day with like a smoothie or with oatmeal or any other higher carb meal. And there's nothing wrong with those breakfasts. I used to have oatmeal almost every single day in college for breakfast, but if you are battling bad sugar cravings, they aren't gonna help. So a great option would be something like an omelet with a bunch of non-starchy veggies, like a bunch of kale or zucchini or onion and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit of ground beef or some bacon thrown in there. An avocado on the side, topped with some feta cheese. I am making myself hungry. Hi. Can I get the frittata and the cacao almond buttercup smoothie? And can I add protein to that, please? Maybe going to a place that has my favorite gluten-free paleo pastries ever was a bad idea. The temptation was real. Thankfully, I didn't get anything. I was able to satisfy my craving with a little chocolate protein smoothie that was so good. Source Cafe is like the one place where when I go there, I will allow myself like a little pastry or treat kind of no matter what. Not this time, because we're kicking those sugar cravings. Oh my goodness, I am so full. I almost just lost the camera and made it fall on my face. That would have been bad. Which leads me into tip number 3. If you start with a really big meal that will keep you full for hours, it'll help tremendously. It's a lot easier to avoid sugary foods when you're not like biologically hungry, and the only thing you have to deal with is cravings, as opposed to cravings and being hungry, because when you're craving something and you're hungry, you're a lot more likely to eat it. If for some reason you cannot get in a giant first meal, or you're just not a giant meal kind of person, I'm a giant meal kind of person. That was probably about 600 to 700 calories, which is like an average to slightly low calorie count for my breakfast. Like, I top out at about 1,000 calories for breakfast. Usually it's around like 700 to 800. But if you just can't do that, you're the kind of person that likes to snack throughout the day, tip number, am I on 4? I think I'm on 4, is to keep a bunch of healthy snack alternatives around you. I'm actually about to start filming my best supplements and snacks for weight loss video, which hopefully will have come out before this video. So if you need any good suggestions for healthy snack alternatives, definitely go check that out. The most ideal situation would be to not keep any sugary snacks in your house and only have them when you go out. So if you're just chilling at home and you want something sugary, you would literally have to go get in your car, drive somewhere, get it, just to have it. And most people are too lazy to do that. So if you don't have it in your house, you're a lot less likely to have it. Speaking of healthy snacks, while I was filming the video, I managed to eat an entire thing of probiotic almonds. By the way, these are freaking amazing. I wanted to save these for when I was craving something chocolatey, but they were sitting there and my camera died halfway through filming, and I was just like, it is time to eat the almonds. I guess it wasn't the entire thing. I think I ate like half the thing at work a few days ago. I'm still feeling kind of hungry, but I don't really want to make dinner yet, so I'm gonna have some venison bites also from the video, because this is what I'm living on right now. It is dinner time. I have some leftover soup that I'm just gonna heat up. For some reason, even though it's summer and it's really hot, I'm super into soup right now. I think it's because I had it when I broke my fast, and now I just absolutely love it. This is just some bone broth from Kettle and Fire. They actually have a adaptogenic bone broth, and it's incredible. It's a chicken bone broth with lion's mane in it. So of course, I used that one, and then I chopped up some, what is this? Celery, green beans, carrots, yellow squash, and zucchini, I think, and I just added some salt and pepper. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, also I totally forgot to mention that I had another snack. Epic just came out with their own version of an RX bar, and it's a lot better than an RX bar. Their peanut butter chocolate flavor is the most amazing thing ever. This is the almond butter chocolate, not quite as good, but still freaking delicious. And the ingredients are just as clean as RX bars. They're pretty much just as expensive as RX bars though, so they need to work on that. Anyway, with dinner, I will also be having some pickled vegetables that I got at the farmer's market. My next pro tip for kicking sugar cravings is to make sure you're consuming some form of probiotic or fermented vegetable or pickled thing to help improve your gut health, because if your gut is off, that can also trigger sugar cravings. So doing what you can to promote gut health will help suppress sugar cravings. So this is my dinner. I have my giant bowl of soup that is full of nutrients. The bone broth is full of collagen. There's a bunch of veggies that are obviously full of a bunch of different micronutrients. Then I have my pickled veggies, which are good for your gut. And then I have my source of healthy fat, an entire avocado covered in salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, hemp seeds, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil just to add a little bit more fat. And extra virgin olive oil is really good for your brain too. So that's just a super healthy fat bomb right there. So that will be my dinner, and then I'll show you what I have for dessert. Oh, also just for reference, this is how much I have left of my lemon water. I've just been slowly sipping on it throughout the day. It's dessert time. This is my dessert tonight. I have a mix of raspberries and blackberries, which are both very low glycemic berries. That just means essentially that they're gonna spike my blood sugar a lot less than something like a banana or a pear, because those have a lot more quick digesting sugars, whereas things like raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries are much slower to diffuse their energy throughout the body. So this won't give me as big of a spike, which would result in me craving sweets afterwards. And then I have a little niblet of some Nomad extra dark chocolate. I talked about this chocolate as well as this brand as a whole in my healthy chocolate taste test video, and I love Nomad chocolate so much. All of their ingredients are super clean. Their chocolate tastes amazing, and the extra dark is really great because chocolate is full of antioxidants. Like, chocolate is a very good thing to eat, especially for brain health, but since this extra dark has a lot less sugar than the other chocolates, so this is gonna be my go-to while I am detoxing from sugar. And then last but not least, I have a cup of mint tea. I'm using the Teamy Relax tea, and I actually have a discount code for Teamy. I'll put it up here somewhere. I actually am in love with this mint tea so much. Like, I'm a big mint tea drinker. I love my mint teas. This is one of my favorites. You know me, I don't support tea toxes. Teamy does do some tea toxes. I don't recommend those. I do recommend their mint tea. I have always been a huge tea drinker. I love tea, hence why I have an entire shelf dedicated to my mugs and my teas. Kind of similar to the lemon water. If I just have something with me that's flavored and has some amount of taste to it, if I have a craving, I'm much less likely to give into it if I have something like tea or lemon water sitting next to me. I'm watching a documentary right now that's about fasting, and it's absolutely fascinating, and I will be sharing it with you guys shortly. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to like talk about it before I finish it, but I'll definitely let you know what I learned in a future video. But yeah, I'm just gonna get back to that, eat my dessert, drink my tea. I will also link this little guy, my little tea steeper, in the description, because I feel like I'm gonna get some questions about that. That brand, it's the Fred brand. They actually have some amazing tea strainers, and I'm obsessed with them. It is about bedtime for me, but one final tip before I go off into dreamland, and that is to make sure you're managing your stress and your sleep. Most people are much more likely to have intense sugar cravings when they're stressed, and when you're sleep deprived, your body is looking for a quick source of energy. The quickest source of energy is sugar. So if either of these are out of whack, you're gonna be a lot more tempted by sugar and a bunch of processed and refined carbs. Most of you know this by now, but one of my favorite things to do when I've been experiencing higher stress levels than normal is to take some ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. I made an entire video about adaptogens. If you want to learn more, I'll link it up here and down there. But essentially its main function is to help balance out your cortisol levels. So if your cortisol is low, it'll help raise it. If your cortisol is high, it'll help bring it back down. So not only does this help me manage my stress, but I find that when I take ashwagandha like an hour or two before I go to bed, then I'm able to fall asleep much quicker, and my sleep is much more restful, and I just wake up feeling so much more refreshed. I'm actually gonna take one of these right now, and I'm gonna go get ready for bed and make sure that I set my alarm for a good 8 hours of sleep. Not everyone needs to sleep 8 hours. I find that I am most rested between 7 hours and 45 minutes and 8 hours of sleep. So yeah, those are my top tips to reduce reduce sugar cravings and get yourself on a healthy track. I hope that they were helpful. I also hope that you guys enjoyed this day of intuitive eating. I didn't count calories or macros at all. I genuinely have no idea how many calories I ate today, and that's totally fine with me. I feel very full and satisfied right now, and I enjoyed all of my food very much, so I would say it was a success. Please do give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, because it really does support me and my channel, and I really appreciate it. Please share this video with all of your friends and your family and anyone else that you know that may or may not be addicted to sugar. If you have any other tips for how to reduce sugar cravings, please leave them down below so that I can apply them to my life and that we can all help each other out in the comments. Please subscribe for more videos if you want to see more videos. If you don't, then you're free to leave and go about your life. But if you do want to see more videos, do make sure you hit that notification button too so you get notified, because YouTube likes to not notify people when people post new videos, even if you're subscribed to them. It's really annoying. And yeah, I'll see you very soon. Bye.